No super coffee for you. No. All right. Woo! That was a chilly, chilly night. Wow. So that's Jazz snoring. That's pretty funny. So I'm gonna have to cover Jazz up. She keeps getting out of her blanket. And it's pretty cold. I'd say it's down in the mid to low 30s right now. So heard a coyote howl, heard a couple barred owls, and little creatures kind of scurrying around, but that's about it so far. But the night is young. Well, that was one of those strange things that happen in the woods. Woke old Jazzy up. All of a sudden a gigantic tree just crashed. There's really no wind out there at all. I've heard that before though. For some reason they just give way. But it was a big tree because it crashed all the way down and finally hit the ground. But old Jazzy got up. Yeah, I've heard things like that before in the woods. It's kind of weird. No rhyme or reason. It's just, it was its time to fall, I guess. And I heard a big pack of coyotes. I'd guess they're probably a half-mile away, down by that creek where we were earlier. Kind of gives me a little bit of concern, because I got to thinking. I mean, I didn't, you think about everything when you go on trips, but what I didn't realize is I've often heard that February is the most dangerous time for dogs to be around coyotes, because coyotes breed during February. And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll come in, and domestic dogs, and they'll try to trick them like they want to play or whatever, and they'll get them away from their house and get them out into the woods or something, and then what happens is the coyotes attack them and kill them. I don't know. I hope not like that's going to happen, but I've got some pretty good protection in here. Not only do I have the Jasmine in here, the Jasmine is no match to 12 coyotes. Some protective devices with me that'll definitely scatter them pretty good. But we'll see what happens. Jazz don't seem to be too worried about it. She went right back to sleep. That's the way that goes. I guess I'll crash back out myself. Nothing else happens. See you in the morning. Even being a creator and I mess with cameras all the time and stuff, sometimes I forget, clean your phone lens. Because I handle it so much, and so like the lens was, I just checked it. I thought it looked a little fuzzy, and sure enough I checked it. It was kind of had some fingerprints on it, so maybe this will be a little bit clearer. There we go. There's the Mountain Hardware sleeping bag I've got. I don't remember I think this is about a 20 degrees bag. Something like that. I don't know if it says on it. Probably says on it somewhere. But I'm toasty warm. And what I've got out here for Jazz, her Mountain Hardwear jacket on her. And it's a polyester, but it's one that's made to pack really small. So it's a pretty good jacket. I've had it for a pretty long time. And then I went ahead and threw this other vest on top of her. The only thing what's funny about a dog is, like, I've got my sock hat on, and boy, that makes such a difference. But you know, with a dog, I don't know. I don't think they make hats for a dog. I guess they probably do. But so I'm keeping her nice and snuggled down. Okay, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and lay back down. Try to get some sleep. I did want to show you this. I've got this flashlight with me. Check that out. That is a green light. I don't know if it's showing up on the video or not, but it's pretty bright. It shines way out there. So if coyotes come in, that'll be the first thing I'll do, is I'll blast them with this light and see if that's a deterrent. If not, you know, of course, I've got my knife and a few other things down in the pocket there that will help take care of the coyotes. I didn't bring any bear spray. Sometimes I'll bring bear spray because that's a pretty good deterrent too, but you got to be real careful with that you're not, or shoot the bear spray and it blows back on your face or something. As of right now, the perimeter's clear. We'll see what happens. Alright, we may have a little bit of a situation starting up here. Jazz is really sniffing, and she's not liking what she's smelling out there. Something seems to be heading this way, and that's upwind from us. So whatever it is, she's definitely getting a hint of it. So we'll see what happens here. Yep. All right. The moon finally came up. All right. So it is 2 a.m. and the moon has risen. It is super bright outside. Everything's going good. That big pack of coyotes never really came in, so that's good. They've been staying down where all those pine trees were all crashed and stuff down there, down by the creek. They're all staying down there, so that's good. And I haven't heard them in a couple hours, so I'm not so sure how much that I just taped actually took, because when I turned the phone around, it was already shut off. So anyways, this cold, creepy air had come in. I took the Rainfly to the Marmot Zenith 10th. Instead of putting it on yesterday, I went ahead and kept it off so we could see outside. I wanted to film animals if they walked up. Well, it's gotten so cold that I'm using the Rainfly now to actually wrap up. You can kind of see I've got it, you know, Jazz is down in there. There's her ear right there sticking out right there. So I've got the Rainfly, and it's pretty dang chilly for sure. It's supposed to get down to 31 and it start to go back up around 6 a.m. All right, well, that's a lesson learned. To me, that's a lesson learned that, you know, you camp out, and especially with this damp, cold air, you know, you got to almost keep that Rainfly on there, and that may help keep this air, this cold air, from coming on in. Lesson learned. Somebody's waking up. Man, that was a cold night. Would you agree, Jazzy? I think Jazzy would agree. That was a cold night. Oh, yeah. I hear you, bud. Woo! I didn't think it was going to get that cold. About 31. Man, wow. About the last hour, I've been doing little calisthenics in my sleeping bag, trying to keep warm, wiggling my toes, wiggling my legs. All right, Jazzy. That was too cold, buddy. Don't you think? Yeah. That was cold. I'm gonna let her go to the bathroom, get her something to eat, get her warmed up. But I tell you what, pretty good adventure, and we didn't get attacked by the coyotes. Yeah. All right. It's good to be on an adventure. Want some more? Wait, just a minute. Jazz, I don't think you even chew, girly. I really don't. Couple more. Wait. All right. Yeah, you got you some breakfast. Yeah, good. Ooh, that was a chilly night. Wow. I tell you what, I haven't been that cold camping since the last time I climbed the Muir snowfield on Mount Rainier and got up there to the base camp where everybody camps and then they go on up to the summit. And I didn't go on up to the summit, but I camped on that 10,000 foot. Oh, it's kind of like a ledge almost. Like it's not very big. It's got a couple little stone cottages up there that the guides use. But I had a tent, went up there and set my tent in the snow up there and camped. And oh my gosh, it was so cold. It was just like big storms hit, winds and stuff like that. It was like, whoa, it was so freezing. But last night, and you know, it didn't get that cold. It got to be 31. That's not that bad, but I just don't think that I was prepared for it. I don't think that sleeping bag I got is a 20-degree sleeping bag. I'll probably do the research on it. I bet it's about a 35-degree bag or something like that, but I don't know. That was just chilly. And, you know, once again, the problems that you face when you take your dog along on a camping trip when it's cold like this. I know throughout the night, probably at least a dozen times, I had to rewrap Jazz because for some reason it's been my experience that a dog, you can wrap him all up. Like in fact, Jazz was wrapped up in this Mountain Hardwear jacket and had a Dow vest over the top of that. And I kept tucking her in, and sure enough, in about an hour or so, I'd hear her move and look over there, and she'd done wiggled herself out of it, and you know, just and it had been way too cold for her to be sleeping without. And the lesson to learn there is if you go backpacking or hiking with your dog, what do you do? How do you keep her warm? Now, I do have a jacket which I've got on Jazz right now, and she seems to like that. It's kind of like almost like a horse would wear. It goes over her back and then clenches around her stomach. I didn't put that on her last night because I know for a fact she's uncomfortable kind of wearing it anyways, and she would just be wiggling around and get all caught up in her and just put a bit of mess. But right now she's kind of like walking around exploring, and you know, it's a red color, so that's pretty nice. Anyways, if you go camping with your doggy, how do you keep them warm at night when it gets this cold like this? It'd be a nice morning to have a fire for sure. If I had a little fire pit, boy, I'd have a roaring fire going, but I just don't. Even though these leaves have got dew on them right now, very wary about starting a fire out here. Because man, if it got out of control, it'd get out of control fast. Now that's a good sign. She finally went poop. I think that's what she's doing there. And that is good. That's a good sign there. Good girl. Good girl, Jazz. Yeah. So see, that little jacket she's got's pretty nice. Oh, I wanted to show you this. My pillow that I made with the leaves. Well, what I found out was when you lay on it throughout the night, it gets flatter and flatter and flatter. And I think at some point the leaves, because they were wet, kind of started
freezing a little bit. But hey, it was better than having nothing. I prefer my pillow at home, but it worked okay. Think about it. I'll go ahead and empty the leaves, and I just have a trash bag to take home, use for another day. So here's where the tarp comes in handy again. What I'll do is lay the tarp back out. Now I'll bring everything back out of the tent. I'll lay it all out here, and then that way I can pack everything up. It's a lot easier than trying to mess with it inside your tent. It's a lot easier to pack too on the way home because, for instance, my tent, I won't fold it up and get it nice and neat. I'm just going to stuff everything. Just put it in there and stuff it all the way in there, all the way down to the bottom, fill everything up. Makes it real nice that way. Yeah, here's what scares me about starting a fire. Yeah, there could have been a lightning strike. Could have been a controlled burn, which they do out here. Or could have been a campfire. There goes Jazz. I think she likes that little coat. Now certain things like my sleeping bag I will go ahead and stuff because it just takes up so much room if you don't. What this is called a compression sack. Straps on it that you can really compress it down, get all the air out of it, make it as small as you possibly can to fit inside the pack. There you go. That is a granite gear. Once you get the bag in there, you just kind of push down and pull strap, turn it, pull on a strap, turn it, pull on a strap, and it compresses pretty nice. You still have the weight of the sleeping bag, and in fact the compression sack actually adds a little bit of weight, which I've actually heard some hikers won't use them because of that reason, because they might add, maybe a half a pound at the most, not even that, probably a quarter of a pound. But to me, it's well worth it because you only have so much room inside your pack. The more you can compress stuff, the better it is. I got most of this gear, like that sleeping bag, this Marmot Zenith tent, probably this jacket I've got on. When I ran a store in southern Indiana, it was Quest Outdoors. Quest Outdoors is from Louisville, Kentucky. And the store I ran was like its satellite store. And I've taken good care of it. And it's still going strong now. That's been, it's been over 2 decades ago. Hello, Dad. Watch out. Watch out, baby. No, no, no. Move. Move. It's important that you bring an extra pair of socks along. Next day, it's always nice to put on extra socks, or even the night before to put them on. Move, Jazzy. Move. Always wear socks with smart wool. Very important. I like smart wool a lot. Of course, Columbia, there's a lot of other socks out there that are pretty good. And I even understand smart wool may have had some quality problems in the last year or so, but they're pretty nice socks. Now, a lot of times when I go on adventures like this, I like to point out the good things, what goes right, and tips that I know and experiences that can help you along the way. I also like to add the mistakes that I make. By my mistakes, it may teach you something, it may show you something. I remember that guy was setting that up and it didn't work out right. I better do it a little bit differently. So I like to show the mistakes too. One mistake I made when I was setting my tent up yesterday is I got my awning up and then I went in and I took just basically my hands and went through the leaves and got any branches, anything like this, I kind of cleared out of the way. Just kind of left it. After sleeping on it all night, what I realized is I should have really cleared the leaves out a little bit better and really looked to see what was underneath those leaves. As you sleep throughout the night and as you kind of roll back and forth, the leaves pack down and anything starts coming through that kind of makes it a real problem. So I had all kind of things, like maybe I might have forgot a couple of these, but I had all kind of things last night that were like really bothering me on my hips, my shoulders, things like that, and I could tell it was underneath the tent down in the leaves that have been compressed down, and now all that kind of stuff started showing up. So really prep your site good before you set your tent up. It means the world of difference when you want to get a good night's sleep or whether you want to sit there and kind of just be bothered because stuff's sticking you here and there and all over the place throughout the night. Once you get it all set up like that, especially on a cold night, you're not going to get up and redo it. So it's just, you just lay there and deal with it. So always prep your site really good before you set your tent up. Okay, so there we go. Got all the gear out of the tent, get it all ready to go, and then I'll start putting the backpack all together. That's a pretty nice tent right there. That's a Marmot Zenith. Had it for a couple decades now, but it's called a two-person tent. It might even be registered as a three-person tent. I call it a two-person tent, two persons to have a little bit of room in between each other. You could sleep three people shoulder to shoulder inside it. It's big enough. There's another mistake that I did make last night. I set this up, had my tarp over the top, thinking that's going to keep the dew off, because I really wanted a full screen all the way around so I could film animals as they come walking up, like that big coyote pack. If it would have come up and surrounded us, that'd have been pretty cool to be able to film all that. The problem is, after midnight, man, when that cold, just cold, chilly wind started blowing, or breeze, it got so cold inside that I probably should have put my rain fly on to maybe keep a little heat inside the tent and also keep that cold, damp air from coming in and settling down. What I ended up doing is taking the actual rain fly, and I actually spread it out and put it over my sleeping bag and put it over Jazz to kind of keep that damp coldness off of us. Might be a good idea. Yeah, it's nice to have the visibility, but on nights like this, go ahead and put your rain fly on. Not sure if I showed this yesterday when I was setting it up. I've got these nice little tarp clamps right here, and I'll clamp those on about where I want the tarp to be. You know, slide it one way or the other on the actual rope itself. And then what I'll do is I tie it off to the tree, then I take a second one through this eyelet and come back to the tree, and that will hold it in place. And so I come over here and I do the same thing on the other side. I got my little clamp on there, and I actually took this one through the clamp right there. But it works pretty good. Keeps the tarp nice and tight. Gotta always remember, no trace. But the only thing we'll leave here is some smashed leaves. Hey, Jazzy. Hey, Jazzy. Oh, got some stuff on you, bub. Sorry about that, buddy. All right, we'll hike in a little bit, okay? Find our way out of here. Yeah, this was a 6x8 tarp that I used over the roof last night. If I had to do it again, I think what I'll do is I'll use this for something. Maybe I'll use this for a ground cloth and get me a 12x12. I think a 12x12 would work pretty good because it would give me enough area out front of the tent for a nice vestibule that's covered up, and it also, the sides would kind of hang down a little bit more, so if the rain comes in or I get a storm coming in, it's not going to want to blow inside the tent. So I'm still going to kind of work on this system. Probably won't camp in the Zenith when it's this cold, but as it warms up, that was pretty nice to be able to see that vista. And in fact, I could lay there last night and over to the side look up, and I saw Orion's belt. Oh, beautiful planets. Just unbelievable how nice it was. Clear sky, clear as could be. So here's the area the tent was set up at. Now the leaves are all smashed down. I should have done a much better job at figuring this out, because where Jazz was sleeping last night, look, she had a big old hole right here that she was sleeping down in. I had things poking me. Move, Jazzy. I had things poking me through the night. Just all kind of stuff down here. Lumps and bumps, and obviously too, once the leaves are gone, you can see it's got a lot more of a slope. Just take care and make sure that you pick out your tent spot. Make sure that you really clear it. Make sure it's level. It makes for a lot better night's sleep. Well, Jazz has been bugging me all morning. Kept saying, Dad, you know we got some eggs left and some Spam. Yep, I know, Jazz, I know. So I guess we'll go ahead and cook it up. And I'll actually heat myself up a super coffee. You know, this little stove I've got is really nice. This canister here, MSR, ISO Pro. But when I took the stove off yesterday, when I took the burner off yesterday, I always like to put it up to my ear and listen. And I thought I heard a little bit of hissing sound still coming. You know, that's got some kind of a gasket in it, and I could still hear something barely coming out. It was either that or it was the same effect like a seashell when you hold a seashell up to your ear. And kept this outside and kept it on a chair. And when I go to pack it now, I'm going to put it on the very outside of my pack. And it comes with this little black cap that I'm going to put on it. When I get home, you got to be careful with that because you just don't want something like this to leak out like inside your car. If you're car camping, stuff like that, that could be a real problem for you. Breakfast coming up, Jazz. Thanks for reminding me. Come here, Jazz. Come here. Come here. There you go. Here. Hot. Here. Hot. Uh-oh. Easy. There you go. Good girl. So what do you think? You ever had Spam before? If you haven't, does this make you want to try it? I tell you what, it's great camp food. Taken it out on the Buffalo River with my son and daughter before. We've taken 4 or 5 day trips out there. We take Spam with us. A lot of times I'll take it on my fishing trips, hiking trips, camping trips. Old Jazz likes it, don't you, Jazz? Yep. You want to be careful cooking it in bear country, though. Make sure you tie everything up because I guarantee bears, coyotes, things like that can smell this 5 miles away probably. Stay away from the stove now, Jazzy. I think we'll have some toast rather than a sandwich. What do you think? Does that sound pretty good? Toast. Stay back, back, back. Good, good. Oh yeah. Kind of making you want to cook some breakfast this morning, doesn't it? Woo! What a beautiful morning. Thank you, Lord. One last thing before I put the stove up. Super coffee warm up. Ooh, mocha latte. Oh yeah. In my little camp cup. Hot, hot. Toast is really, really good. You know, one great thing about the Hoosier National Forest is I've been out here. Get back away from the stove. You know, we got out here yesterday, spent the night, and now all this morning. Not a sign of anyone anywhere out here. Did see some park rangers yesterday as we were pulling in. If you want to come to a place that's got a lot of privacy, it's the Hoosier National Forest, Indian-Celina Lake. Now, when it gets warmer, there'll be more campers and stuff in the campground, but you know what? It's pretty rare to even find anybody out on the hiking trail. Gonna warm it up. Get back, back, back. Boy, these are delicious. Never had a super coffee. Try them out. They're pretty good. But yeah, in all my videos, you'll hear me talk about it all the time. About the Hoosier National Forest and how nice it is. It's the pandemic. The pandemic is what forced me off the open road, traveling long distances in order to rediscover where I live here in southern Indiana, Hoosier National Forest. I give you a big hug because it is so nice and it's just close to home. It doesn't take a lot of gas to get here. The prices for camping are reasonable, and it's just, you can have so much privacy and so much fun. Check it out, Hoosier National Forest. Highly recommend it. Let's heat up some super coffee. Always light your match first. Always remember to light your match first. Life is good. No. No super coffee for you. No. No super coffee for you. No. No, you don't drink coffee. Quit. Move. Move. Back. Get. Back. Back. Leave me alone. No. No. Good day. What are you rushing home to, my son? When you can hang around here if you wanted to. If you wanted to. Go ahead and explore, for you never know what's through the next door. All right, there we have it, all cleaned up, leave without a trace, getting ready to hit the trail. Head on back to the 2005 Jeep Liberty. Probably spent a lonesome night out on the road. Hopefully, it's still there. So that didn't take real long to get everything loaded up. You know, probably an hour since I was cooking. Get the camp all cleaned up, get my backpack loaded up, and ready to go. So we got about, I don't know, maybe a 2-mile hike, 2.5-mile hike out. Hopefully the Jeep Liberty is sitting there when we get back. I think I still have the keys on me, so we're in good shape there. What a good trip. What a great, great trip. I learned so much, and that's the thing about outdoor adventure. If you can always learn something, man, You're just expanding your horizons way on out there. Goodbye, campsite. Thank you very much. Jazz, you ready? Let's go, buddy. All right, taking a little break here. Man, I tell you, there's some pretty big hills here on the Two Lakes Trail. That's coming from Indian Lake, coming up what would be the north side of the Two Lakes Trail. Pretty good hills to climb. You know what I found, you start getting out of breath, just stop, take you a 3 or 4 minute break, and go on with it. One time, me and my brother, we climbed Mount Adams, summited Mount Adams. And on the way up there, I know I quit a dozen times. Easy. I was shot. I couldn't do it. Go, 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 and just stop. I just stop on the trail like this and just sit there and think, I can't do this. Big switchbacks all the way up. And at some point, I'd sit there long enough, 2 to 5 minutes. Next thing I know, 1 foot in front of the other, and I keep going. It's one of my greatest hiking achievements to climb. Got a little plane flying over. But anyways, that's what I recommend. Take a little break, keep going. That's what kind of hurts you if you're on too much of a rush. If you got to do 15 miles before it gets dark in the winter, you're going to be in trouble unless you're really in good shape and you're packing light and you're going fast, because that'll put you way behind. But if not, don't worry about it. Jazz, you all right? Okay. All right. See, I'm ready to go again. You could easily sprain an ankle. That's why I don't like those lightweight running shoes. Man, one bad step and your trail days are gone for a while. Jazz didn't like being on the leash again. But it's Friday, which means there could be a good chance of hikers coming out. And it's supposed to get up in the 50s, so I'm not going to chance it. Somebody come busting around one of these corners. They've got a dog, and they're leashed up, and Jazz isn't, and Jazz attacks them. Bad news, here we are. Arrow pointing to turn left if you're going to continue on the main trail. Here's your map, right here. And I'd say we camped somewhere right up in this bluff, about a half a mile from the trail up here, so probably a little bit farther up here. Indian Lake, Celina Lake. It's a nice trail. But see, right here, we're going to take Two Lakes Connector Trail. And that's going to take us to the 2005 Jeep Liberty. And if we missed it, we went this way, we would be heading to Celina Lake. Probably at least 5 miles, 6 miles from here. Jazz, let's see if the Jeep's there. Let's go. Woo! Jeep is here. All right, Jazz. Ready to go home? Good girl. Come here. I'd say Jazz is ready to go home. Woo! Glad you came along. That was a great trip. LAF, Space Film Fest. Capital LAF, Space Film Fest. Hey, if you would, hammer down that subscribe button. I appreciate it. I'll go on more backpacking trips, canoeing trips. I'll fix things in my cabin. Whatever you want to see, just send it in the comments. I appreciate you coming by. Stay, 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 stay. I know you want to do 20 more miles, but just stay. Stay, girlie. That's good, doggy. Woo! Tell you what, that was a good time. Next time I'm going to dress a little different. Although, see, all the clothes that I have on are all synthetic. You know, I'm getting sweaty right now, but it'll dry real fast. That's what you want. No cotton. Stay away from cotton. All right, hopefully the Liberty starts up. That's a good sign. Rock and roll. Leave it in the comments. Do you have any backpacking plans coming up? You know, still be careful. It's only February 2nd today. We got February, but we get March. March starts warming up. We got April, beautiful. Showers though, be very careful with those April showers. Hypothermia will grab you every time. But besides that, woo! Way to go. Myself, I don't know how much more hiking I'm gonna do. I know the 1980 Selvin fishing boat though is raring to go. Ask me every time I walk in the shop, Mr. Lords, are we ready? I always say, patience, we're almost there. Gonna go hunt those big bass. Yeah, if you get the chance, come on over to Indian-Celina Lakes recreational area, Hoosier National Forest. You can hike, you can camp, you can bike, you can fish, all kind of things to do here. It's a real gem in the United States of America. Midwest, Southern Indiana. Nice folks run it, keep it nice and clean, always beautiful here. Hey, I also want to give a special thanks to my sister who's been kind of watching our progress, me and Jazz, making sure that we got into the forest, making sure we got back out. She was kind of an emergency plan. If something was to happen, she had some instructions to send the authorities after us and try to rescue us, whatever happened. Thank you, Allison. I appreciate that. Jazz is there in Liberty, and she is ready to go home. All right, Jazz. Go see your brother, the Samster, and Mama. Thank you, Lord, for watching after me and Jazz. I got a little nervous when I heard those coyotes not far away. Of course, if they approached us with the intentions of harm, me and Jazz would sure fight them good, especially with my sidearm.